When we're talking about that content that builds awareness, right, we're reaching out to people to let them know we exist, right? And like I mentioned before, we're interrupting a lot of the times when we're creating awareness, right? And that's not a bad thing. You just now had to be intentional about making a good interruption. Make people feel like, I'm happy he interrupted me. I don't know if you guys ever been maybe in a meeting or maybe at a coffee shop, you're doing some work or out in public, and you're kind of minding your own business, kind of in the zone, and then like someone very charismatically just interrupts you, and you're kind of like, oh, why they? But then it turns into something good. And you're like, hey, I'm actually kind of happy I met that person. That's what you want the feeling of when you're promoting and getting awareness and interrupting people on social media. You want them to forget they're even interrupted and make them feel like, I'm happy this was assigned for me. This was needed. This was made just for me. Give them that feeling. And so examples of awareness types of content, Super Bowl ads, everything on the Super Bowl ads during the Super Bowl, a lot of that is awareness, right? A lot of it also is nurturing because most of the large corporations we've already heard of them when they're on those ads. But because it's like so many viewers on this one particular time watching, you are going to get awareness from it. And sometimes you'll get awareness of just a new product line, a new service line, right? Or a new rebranding. Facebook ads, this one is definitely awareness building and definitely interrupts. With Facebook ads, you are choosing what types of demographics you want to find on Facebook and Instagram, and you're going to interrupt their scroll, right? And this is a lot harder than organic content because with organic content, when your followers follow you, they've given you the permission to market to them and sell to them. They're like, all right, I know I don't want to be sold to all the time, but I'm following you. I know you're a business. I know you have products to sell and things to market. I have no problem with you giving me that content periodically. And so that's why they follow you. But on a Facebook ad, these people do not follow you. You do not have their permission. And so people are more likely to scroll by, right? Because they don't have any relationship with you. So it's a lot harder, but it's one of the best ways to get in front of new people, right? Did you know articles that could be on your website, right? You can have a did you know article on nutritional facts, something about a food or something with a drink, a beverage, right? Dubai chocolate, maybe you know something we don't know about it that's inside making people go crazy. You can have a did you know article, and for someone who's maybe eating chocolate all the time, I don't know, maybe they're searching on Google, how do I stop eating chocolate all the time? They go onto your website, they read your article, but now they're like, all right, where can I get more information like this? So on the bottom, when it says who the author is, that's the first step of them being aware of, okay, Alex is a nutritionist. She kind of does topics like this, covers things like that. All right, I'm gonna look into that. Case studies, influencers, viral content. Viral content, you know, I've never been viral. I can't even tell you guys the formula to viralness. When you look at everything that goes viral, there's not really a pattern, right? Like this goes viral for this reason, while that goes viral for that reason. It's too much time and effort trying to calculate that. So I really wouldn't prioritize that, but that is a way of getting awareness, right? It's going viral. Influencers I really like because influencers already have the following and a network of people that maybe like what you like, or it's a community, right? And so for health, right, or even business, right, having people who have the influence and following a mastermind or a group, you guys are becoming influencers yourselves, right? Where people might reach out to MLP and be like, hey, can you spread this news to your community? It's much better if I go to you guys to tell people than me trying to tell people and all your followers have no connection with me. So when you guys share it, your followers are gonna be like, oh, okay, I trust Edwin, I trust Stephanie, let me go check this out. So influencers are great. Try to look for people who already have a following or a connection with the people you want to reach out to. work with them. You do have to pay them, of course, but this immediately gains trust. You don't have to worry about gaining trust. It speeds up the process a lot quicker. And that's why on those Super Bowl ads, you will always see companies like Dunkin' Donuts spending all their budget on Ben Affleck, J-Lo, all in one commercial, because they know that those people and celebrities have influence on us. And so all Super Bowl ads are almost celebrity after celebrity after, you know. So again, customer's journey, right? After awareness, we now had to make them consider. And how do we do that? We do that through nurturing. Nurturing, as you guys know, is like nurturing a friendship, right? You have to show them that you're trustworthy, reliable, you're a good person, your heart's in the right place. Same with a business. And probably now more than ever, because our generation and generations after us have never been so conscious with buying. We've never judged a company on the morals that they believe in or fall into before we buy. We're ready to cancel companies, not buy products, boycott because they don't follow certain values. So now's your time. Us, especially us, we have that advantage because we're more local and community, we're touchable and reachable. We can easily build a relationship with customers and our followers, right? And so we do that with some educational content. After they followed you and they're aware, start educating them, right? Maybe with the mortgage, and I'm sure I follow so many mortgage officers, and I kind of study the real estate industry, and so there's a whole lot of people giving the same tips everywhere, right? If you can be so I think for like mortgage officers and real estate agents, yeah, create the same basic home buying tips or how to use FHA, right? You can, yes, do those videos. Yes, your people haven't heard it from you. That's what people will say, like, yeah, it's done before, but it's never been done by you. All right, cool. But let's be real. Most of the people are probably already gonna hear what you said. If you can find out, even the stuff I'm saying, you guys probably already heard, right? I might be saying in a different way, a different format, right? So educational content isn't always the best way to separate yourselves from others, right? Unless there's a formula that you know that no one else knows, something groundbreaking, something innovating. But for something like mortgage, it's so bound by like the laws and stuff like that. You can't just be like, yo, I got a brand new loan no one's never heard of, you know? But so for you, nurturing just means building trust, because people do business with people they like. So yeah, they might know, they could go to the bank and find an officer, but they want to go with Edwin because I like Edwin. I want Edwin doing this for me, you know? So I know you know this, but nurturing is going to come many different ways. For some of us, it's building that trust. For others, it's educational content on how the product is. What does it do for the hair? What does it do for your skin? What does it do for your body, right? So it depends what your product is or service. Another part of nurturing is learning your audience as well, right? Be more engaging. That's something that I want to do once Instagram gives me back my account. I want to have more quizzes, interactive polls on my stories to learn more, right? I want to learn what stage people are at in business that follow me. Do the same with your followers. Don't make it a one-way communication thing where you're the one always communicating to your followers. Make them talk back with you and tell them where they are at. That's a cheat code to now market, because now you know what they need. Now you know their pain points. You know what they want, what they're looking for. Now you know what to give them. And that's how you can easily convert them when you know what people want. You know, they have that example of like selling the pen, and they'll try to say like, oh, I can sell this pen to anyone. And some people immediately just start trying to sell the pen. When it's not about the pen, it's about the person and what they need. Do they need the pen? What kind of a pen? Once you learn that, now you make the decision as a salesperson, and you know, a truthful salesperson. Is this the right pen for this person based on the needs I just learned about them? Probably not. Honestly, this isn't the pen for you, right? So just expressing that and just learning about your audience will now help you to market much better to them. All right, customer journey, one more time. All right, and lastly, convert, right? The conversion process, these are people who already been following you for weeks now, ideally. People who've already been going onto your website, consuming your content, sharing, liking. Hopefully you've already had a convo with them, but they haven't bought yet. What do you need to do to make them buy? Urgency. Create an urgency, right? Urgency in terms of promotions, discounts, specials. Not every business or industry has that ability to do that, right? For restaurants, they can easily just provide a special or a promotion or a discount. And that can make someone who's been watching or on the fence, but a little skeptical about buying this. But now because tacos are $2, they're like, all right, I'm willing to go. If the tacos are trash, at least it was $2, right? So you're lowering the friction to buy, to just try the product so you can get them to come back. So conversion, create that urgency, even for mortgage, even though you can't provide a promotional discount or anything like that, what you can do is create urgency because maybe of interest rates, right? People are always trying to wait till they go down, but it doesn't seem like it's going down. So the same way people were thinking a few years ago, I'll just wait till it rebounds, it goes down. Now we're here today and it hasn't gone down but up. You can say like, listen, if you don't buy now, you're gonna say 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I wish I bought back then, instead of trying to time the interest rates, right? So I'm not a mortgage officer, I'm not gonna explain that the best, but you know how to create urgency based on this. You also might know how much money people are losing by not buying a house and instead renting or doing this. So they may not even know how urgent it is to start early. So you may have to educate them why it's urgent, why they should care more. Same with nutrition, right? For you, Alex, a lot of us, I'm speaking for myself, I don't know the true cost of maybe not eating proper meals throughout the day, right? And so I'm thinking, it's not that much of a cost. You know better than me, make it more urgent in my eyes. And that's kind of when you start seeing these commercials on television, especially pharmaceutical companies. They do a very great job of creating urgency and pain points, and engaging on your pain points. And they kind of make you feel like you need to take that medicine or go to the doctor and get this from them immediately. And so people do take advantage and manipulate with pain points and things like that. That's not what I'm asking you guys to do. I'm asking you guys to be truthful and educate people on why whatever product or service you're giving is that important, right? And so going back now, awareness, nurture, conversion. What do we need to do to create, what is being used to get awareness, conversion, and nurturing? It's the content, right? The videos, the PDFs, the text, the visuals, right? And so when we think about service-based businesses, personal trainers, barbers, consultants, videographers, cleaners, mortgage officers, right? Several types of content we can create. So I'll go over some examples. We got before and after photos and videos, right? So showing before you worked with a client and then after you worked with a client, that's a big one because now people can see, oh, I'm similar to that before picture or before assessment. It doesn't have to be a picture. It could also just be like before, here's what their financials looked like. After working with me, if I'm a financial advisor, this is what their financials look like, right? That's a great way to nurture and convert. It's a great way to nurture because people who are already following you need that trust. They still trying to see and consider, is this the right person that can get me from point A to point B? And you show that with the before and after. Client testimonials is another way to nurture, similar to before and afters, except you're hearing it from a customer that you got them from point A to point B as a service provider, right? Quick tips and tutorials. Quick tips and tutorials is not really more for them to actually do those tips and do it yourself, right? There's some industries, going back to nutrition or even videography, I can give you guys tips to do it yourselves, right? But oftentimes, the more you get into it, the harder it becomes in the expertise that you need. So eventually, you're still gonna need us as the provider, but giving those quick tips can help show your audience and your followers that, okay, this person does know what they're doing, what they're providing, based on how they explain the quick tips in the tutorials. Branded series, meaning a weekly series, right, or a monthly series, but something that's been doing a very good on Instagram lately is like content creators making some type of routine or not a show, but it feels like a show because there's episodes to it. And so what that could mean is, I worked with a real estate agent. He did First Dib Fridays, where every Friday he was releasing a house that wasn't yet on the market to his followers and his audience and letting them know, hey, if you want to get a sneak peek in before I put it on the market, contact me. I'll get you a exclusive showing before I put it on the market on this day. Then he also had Wish List Wednesdays, where now his buyers who are looking for homes, he would promote on Wednesdays, hey, I got these buyers. They're looking for this home with this house, this many rooms in this location. If anyone in my followers has that, reach out to me. And so at least for agents and people following him, they have a expectancy that every Wednesday he's going to release homes that I can show to my, he's going to release buyers that need homes that I can show to my sellers to see if any one of them meet those requirements. So weekly or monthly or some type of periodic branded series can just help create, expectancy with your customers. So now they know how to follow you, how to continue engaging with your account and stuff like that. You can also do tips. At one point in my life, I used to do financial tips of the day when I was in college. And people, it was one of those things where like people always just be like, yo, financial tip of the day, what's the tip? And it became like its own branded product out of that, So series helps because it just helps us and your followers who don't know your entirety of your business. It helps simplifies things. Frequently asked questions. That's another good one to build and nurture, build that trust, nurture, get them to convert, because now you're decreasing friction, right? Everything is about decreasing friction. Friction to buy is what I mean. So you can decrease that with FAQ on a website, and in a video format's even better, because now if you know the common objections people have before buying your product and service, if you can answer that with a video before they even meet with you or talk with you, you just decrease the friction and maybe even the time it takes before they make the decision to buy, because you just told them like, hey, it costs this much, but maybe you have installment plans. Maybe there's this that you're offering to help the payment a lot easier, whatever it is. Or maybe it's the timeline, right? Even though it's a 4-week period that I need to work with you, it's just 1 week meeting a week. It's only 1 hour. It's not as much work as you think. Whatever it is that is a common objection that people might have, which is usually time, money, if you can eliminate those objections with the video and on your website, it'll speed things up a lot faster. And then process walkthroughs is similar to FAQs, but I've seen this a lot in your industry with the mortgage. What does it look like working with me as an officer? Step 1, do the pre-approval, then so on and so forth. Even though we've seen that so many times, there's still people that need to know that, oh, that's all the process is. It's just 5, 6, 7 simple steps. Oh, okay. Makes them more ready to go through the process, because oftentimes for service providers, people are afraid of what that process is going to look like. I know even as small as like barbers and stylists, right? I wanted to dye my hair for the longest, and I had to research. There was so many like objections that I was having. I'm like, yo, if this person doesn't do it right, my dreads are gone. And so I talked with one person, and they walked me through the process of what that's going to look like, what each stage is going to be, and I had that trust, and it made me convert quickly. Retail products, it's a little bit different than service, obviously. Service is more about you, the person, until you have a company or an agency, and now it's about the company and the agency. But in the beginning, it's all about you, right? And so you're the face of it. For retail and product, it could be faceless, right? You can step away and it's just the product and the retail selling. But product demos, it's obvious, showing them how to use the product, right? Styled product shots, if you have a bottle of shampoo, if you ever seen like those Olay or so many beauty brands, they all have some of the best photos when you look at like the overhead shots that they do or like the angled shots. They display the products very nicely, so that's what that is. Customer reviews, similar to the testimonials that I mentioned last time. People always love hearing it from the customer themselves, behind the brand, right? So even though you have a faceless brand, introducing yourself, humanizing that brand can help connect with your customers and maybe make them more loyal so they can buy more or recommend you. And like I said, today's world, people care about the brand and who the people running it are, what their values are before being loyal to that company. Sold out, restock, drop alerts, creating that urgency, right? Having a limited stock, it's sold out. The brand Supreme, the clothing brand, is big on that. They have very limited supply. Even Jordans, as big as Nike is, Jordan purposely has limited inventory per store, and that creates urgency. That's why you have a resellers market, because people are lining up for the store, trying to buy it, and then selling it online because there's so much demand. So having that, even for us as consultants, hey guys, I got another 1 month. I only have like 2-3 bookings left in that month. Guys, act now. I know for those of you guys that have been contemplating and procrastinating on taking action on this for some time now, do it now. I only got this booking for next month. After that, you're gonna have to wait a few months, right? Creating that urgency will make people act now. And then user-generated content is also good. Having people post what they're doing with their hair. Savage Fenty is very big on that. They have influencers as well as users in the community reposting content of their stuff. Restaurants and food, I know we don't have any here, but just for you guys to see. Very similar content, but you guys and all of us can benefit from influencer promos just as much, right? So finding the influencers that can help promote our products, we can still use. Super Bowl ad for the restaurant, it shows everything about the restaurant, but for us, same thing. Super Bowl ad is gonna show you working with a client, you doing some B-roll stuff like on your computer, on the phone, walking proudly and confident through the street. All of that, one by one, you're like, yo, what's the point of this? But all together, it creates that quality, it creates that quality and that service that people want to see with your brand, associated with your brand. Specials promos, I already mentioned that. Humanizing the brand with meet the owner, customer polls, like I mentioned before.